Okay. Hey, Wendy, I'm going to go out and come back because it's not my screen is black, so I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Gotta go sit over there.
Hi, funny dog.
Karen, do you have something over your camera?
No, I don't. It just does this when my computer's been oh, excuse me, running too long. I'm coming right back.
Okay.
Coming right back.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Okay. You want to come sit by me? Okay.
Gotta unmute yourself, Chris.
We don't eat the books. Yes.
Oh.
How are you today?
Good.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Did you get a chance to go through the module?
I did. Shockingly.
What's that? Shockingly.
Yeah, shockingly I did.
Good.
I had my grandkids with me last night and stuff, so was trying to watch it with that going on, so we did manage.
Well, good job. Thank you for getting that done.
Yeah. I mean, I still got to do the measurements and stuff, but in the picture.
Yeah.
But I'll do that tonight when they're gone.
Wonderful. That sounds great. Well, Karen just got on and she's having a little bit of computer trouble, so she's going to try and get back on here in a minute. While we're waiting, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay. So I'm 66. I'm going to be 67 in July. And I work for an engineering research and development company as their director of administration. I have 2 daughters, and they each have 3 kids.
Oh, good.
Starting at
Just one
age
second. I think this might be Karen. Sorry. Hello? Oh, thank you. Do you have a date for me? Sorry, I'm on a call. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye-bye. I apologize. That was a call I was needing to take.
No, it's fine.
Go ahead. So you said you've got your grandkids and you've got 3 children.
Yeah. And so right now I'm trying to look at my health as in terms of having been re-diagnosed with breast cancer in November, December. And so I'm taking medication in terms of a shot and then a pill, but I want to really focus on my plant-based diet.
Good. So how much of the plant-based have you done in the past?
None.
None?
Never done it.
Okay.
Never done it.
And you have had cancer before and then you were cleared of it and now it's back. Is that right?
Yeah. So I had it in 2015. No, 2012, sorry.
Okay.
So I had at that time I had a 12 centimeter tumor show up in my left breast, and went through chemo, surgery. They removed 18 lymph nodes at the time.
Wow.
plus reduction of, trying to get rid of that. And they kind of did reshaping on both breasts at the same time. And then followed up by 37 rounds of radiation.
Wow.
And so
You're still alive, Chris. That's incredible.
it probably is. So now I'm starting again round 2, which is really distressing to me. And so I'm just exploring other options and trying to support my health and calibrate my body.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you're here. I think there are probably going to be a lot of things that will help you out with this. And like I told you on the phone, I have worked with people who have a variety of different cancers, and some of them have really done very well. Others, it was their time to go. So it was able to help them to transition a little bit better. So whatever your path is, you know, we hope the best for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Welcome to both Karen and Linda. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our little group. We've got
And Kent's over here.
you and then Kent. Is Kent there? Okay.
Yeah, he is, but he's
Perfect.
You can come over here, Kent.
yeah.
Okay, so we've got 4 in this group, which is great. Sometimes the smaller groups are better because you get more individual attention. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. I was talking a bit with Chris just to get to know her. You all know each other, right? From the Joy Coaching, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, Chris, you told us your why of why you want to be here. I'd like to hear the same from each of you. Just real quick, tell us a little bit about why you're here and why you chose to come to this particular program.
Yeah. Well, why are you here, Kent?
Why am I here? To listen and learn.
Good.
Doesn't he look like Paul Newman?
Yes.
I always tell him that. I always tell him he's so handsome.
Yes.
He's all salad dressing too. Just kidding. No, I'm. I
So,
know.
Kent, what is it that you hope to accomplish during this program?
Is that for Kent or?
Yeah, for Kent.
What do I hope to accomplish in the program?
Yeah.
Feel better overall. See if I can overcome reverse neuropathy was one thing.
Okay.
Improve my prostate function.
Okay.
Get more energy.
Excellent. Anything else? Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll be discovering things as we go too. So that's Linda, what are your desires for this? Why are you here?
I want to have more energy, and I want to put on good healthy weight, and just learn how to eat healthier so I can improve some of my health issues that I'm dealing with.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just want to overall eating better and feeling a whole lot better than I am right now, and develop good muscle. Get good muscle mass too, because I need to strengthen my muscles, but also through eating right things.
Okay. And you want to gain a little bit of weight, right?
Yeah, I do.
I'd like to give some of mine to her.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
To her cause.
You're so cute. All right, Karen, you're next.
I want to have a major life change. I want to learn everything I can from you, Wendy. I feel like you're the angel in my path, and that I just got told, hey, you need to go learn everything that she has focused her life on doing, and make my weakness my strength. So that's why I'm here. I want to be just like you.
Me too.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. All right. Well, first of all, you should have each received an email about all of the information of how to access the program. So did everybody get that?
Yeah.
I did, but I didn't understand how to get the workbook.
Okay, so I'm going to go into
Check
share my screen with you. Please.
Oh, and Wendy, are you going to record this?
I will, yeah.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be.
Thank you for reminding me. So, yes, we are recording. Okay, so I'm going to go into the rawchefwendy.com. This is your main portal that you'll be using the majority of the time, but I do have another one, which is the Raw Chef Wendy University, that you will access for a lot of the videos and things having to do with the food and recipes and all of that. So it's like having me in your kitchen with you, teaching you these things, and it's an excellent resource for you. I've spent over 200 hours putting those together and would love for you to access them and really use them for what you need. So when you come into rawchefwendy.com, you'll hit the members button. You don't have to click on it. You can just hover over it, and then you'll see the group B. So I'd like you to click on that, and then you each have the password. I gave it to you in 2 emails today.
Okay.
So put the password in this guest area here, and then you will get access to all of the modules and the workbook pages, okay? It takes just a minute, but here they are. So the video is here, and you'll just click on that. You can make it bigger if you want.
Wendy, April 8th.
So you can make it bigger with this button here.
Hi, and welcome to the Raw Inspiring Life Group Program. I'm excited to have you here. This is a 24-week
Wait a
course.
minute. We don't need to
And we're
listen
going
to
to
all
be
this.
talking about the first module in the work.
Okay. So that's how you access that. And then the workbook page is right here. It's the PDF. So you'll click on the workbook page, and that should come up right for you, okay? So really easy. It's all right there. So this is your first module. And we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. Back to this, I'd also like you to listen to the bonus video, because this talks about how to go on to rawchefwendyuniversity.com, and that will show you how to access the program. There are 2 options when you go in there. So there's just like you can go reasonably raw or beautifully raw. We'll start with the reasonably raw and then go to the beautifully raw, but it looks like there's just 2 options, but through those 2 options are tons of different options. I just wanted to make sure that you know exactly how to access everything in here. Okay, and then your module 2 we'll be discussing this next time. So we're meeting bi-weekly, which means not next week, but the week after. So let's just go through the dates for
Monthly,
You
right?
mean bi-monthly, which means twice a month?
It's bi-weekly because some of the weeks are off, or like they're 5 days, or sorry, 5 weeks in a month. So it's just bi-weekly. It's every other week.
Oh, is that what that means?
Oh, okay. That's, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so today is the first one, and then the second will be on the 22nd of April.
Oh, my goodness.
And then we will go to the 6th of May and the 20th of May. And I do have a few, well, maybe not. June will be the 3rd and the 17th. And that's 6 total.
Yeah.
Yep, so we will have 6 total. So because we just have 6 calls and there are 12 modules, then you need to go through 2 of them for each call. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There are actually more modules than that. So I'm giving you bonus modules. I think they're 15.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm going to be getting these off of here from our other group calls. But yeah, so there are 15 total. So if you can work ahead, that's even better. Then you'll be able to ask me more questions about things. But we've got 6 times that we'll meet together. And then if you want extra things, if you haven't paid for or arranged somehow to get private coaching, energy sessions, those kinds of things, that will be on top of it. So it just depends on what contract you have with me. Okay, and then we can discuss that later. All right, any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay, so let's go into the first module here. And I'm actually going to go through the first 2. So this is going to be quick. And then as we go, if you have questions that pop up, then go ahead and answer me, or I will answer you. So the first one is just telling you about the program. There is a disclaimer that all the information in here is for educational purposes only. If there's anything that you feel that you need to go to your doctor for, please don't hesitate to do that. I am a master herbalist and I'll help you with herbs and things, but I'll also talk to you about how the herbs work in conjunction with medications. So you need to be careful about that as well. Generally, so that you know, when you take herbs, if they're a formula where there are blends of different single herbs put together, it's usually best for you to take that one formula and then wait for 10 minutes and then take another formula if you need to. So there should be 10-minute window in between there at least so that you can allow that formula to work. As far as medications are concerned, you need about 4 hours in between a medication. This is important because you need to allow the medication time to be able to do its job so that there aren't contraindications and the herbs cancel out the medication. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So 4 hours in between taking herbs and medications if you're on those, at least, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we will go over that further. Okay, this first module talks about...
Would you mind enlarging your...
Sure.
Thanks.
Is that better?
No, that's good.
Okay, so this first module goes over the creation that is in the Bible. I will be referencing things throughout this about my Christian views. If you don't share the same views, that's fine. Just kind of put it into whatever your belief system is. But when we go through this, I just wanted to be able to kind of show you a little bit about, I'm going to mute all of you here. And if you have something you want to say, just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Okay, so in the creation with this module 1, we talk about in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. And it goes through in each day, the Spirit moved upon the face of the waters and God said, let there be light, and there was light. So the first day he created light and he divided it from the darkness. The second day he created heaven and the waters above heaven and the waters below heaven. The third day he created the seas and also the grasses and herbs yielding the seed and fruit trees. Now, isn't this interesting? And I'd like you to study this if you would like to, because there are some things that will come up to you, I think, as you're studying this pertaining to the plants that God has created for us. So he created us the grasses and the herbs with the seeds in them, also fruit trees with their seeds. Fruits and seeds are very healing, and they are also excellent for infertility. So if you know people who have infertility issues, they need more fruit, and you can actually eat the seeds as well. But I love that he created these first, and that's, to me, that is kind of a red flag of, there you go. It's in plain sight that herbs and fruit are supposed to be like the number 1 and 2 things that we're using in the way that we're eating. And then day 4, he created lights in the heavens. So the stars, the moon, the sun, and they all obeyed. I love this. He set up into heaven to rule the day and night. And so he gave rules or directions to them of what they were expected to do, and they obeyed. So all of the elements obey these natural laws that God has created. And this is an important fact as well, because our bodies obey natural laws as well. And so when we start putting in healthy foods and herbs and the plants into our bodies, the bodies naturally respond because they have to follow those natural laws that God has created. Day 5, then he created creatures in the water and the fowls of the air and commanded that they be fruitful. There's the word fruit again. It's in the Bible over 300 times, which should tell us something. Be fruitful and replenish the earth. And it's also connected to that fertility. Isn't that interesting? He didn't just put them there to do whatever they pleased. He set his expectation of what he wanted them to do, and then they obeyed. Day 6 then was all the rest of it. He created all the other creatures, and then he made man, and he was in the image of God, and then man had dominion over all of these creeping things. So it's important to understand too that we can command the animals to obey us, and they will submit if done with kindness and not anger or fear. They don't respond well to anger or fear, but if we can do it with love and kindness, then these animals will obey. And then he created woman from Adam's rib. And then it says, all herbs bearing seed and every tree yielding fruit shall be for meat for them. So this word meat, I think, is misunderstood a lot in the scriptures. When people see the word meat, they think automatically of animals, but it was shown here that the fruit and the herbs and all of those things that are plants are to be for meat or food for us. Again, he says, for every creeping thing upon the earth, every fowl of the air, he gave them green herbs for meat. And then he saw that it was good. And then he rested from his labors. And day 8, he watered the ground and took care of his creations. That's something that we often miss. He maintained it and watered it because he put these things in place, but they have to obey the law of the harvest, right? So when we plant seeds, we water them and take care of them, and the sun shines on them and helps them to grow. And we will always have a harvest, but we need to take care of those things that we put together. So the reason I brought this up is because I want you to take a look at these steps of creation for yourself. So I've put here, and I'm not going to go through every one of them. There are 13 steps here that you can get from this. And I'd like you to study this and really ponder how this applies to your life and what you personally want to create through this course. Okay, because God was very intentional. He created a plan or a blueprint before he even got started. And he helped, or he asked others to help him. He asked the Savior to help him and Adam to help him, who was Michael at the time. And he saw things. And so when we create, it starts with a thought or an idea of what we want to create. And then it becomes a picture in our head or a vision of what we want it to be. We feel excitement for it. It's something that we are passionate about and want to put it into being. And as we continue thinking about this, we create plans. We develop them in our minds first often, and then we put them down on paper and create a blueprint of some sort or plan. We organize it. Sharing with somebody else will help increase our chances of it actually happening. And then focusing on our vision of what we really want to create is important. So there's a lot of energy with thought that's put into motion, and it drives the project forward. For me, prayer is very powerful. I guess I'm going to go through this. And then being very specific in the prayers is great, because then the more specific we are with God, the more specific he will be in his answers. So I want you to be really intentional and specific with what you want for your body, your mind, and your spirit during this course. Faith and hope are also essential in keeping the ideas alive. And there will be times when you have these feelings of doubt or despair, or feeling like you can't move forward, or there's some block or something in front of you. And I want you to ask questions. There are specific questions that we'll go over in these modules that you can ask yourself. But be conscious of how you're thinking first. Be conscious of what you're saying to other people and to yourself. Be conscious of the actions that you have. And just live more consciously, because you are creating everything that you think and feel. And then asking for feedback along the way and helping others to get involved with the creation is great, which is why it's good for us to have accountability partners. And I think as far as the accountability, I muted myself, sorry. Linda and Kent, would you be willing to do that? And then Karen and Chris?
Yeah.
Perfect. So each week I'd like you to contact each other and just go over, you could do it for 10 minutes or half hour, an hour, however long you have, but with the intention of understanding, what your needs are, talk with each other and help support one another, be each other's accountability partners, so that you can go through this program and really get the most out of it. Okay.
Would it be okay if I sometimes talk also with Karen at different times too?
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you want to back and forth with Chris and whoever.
You can talk to me too.
Yeah, can't come up. We'll talk to you too, Chris. We'll just all be one family here, so I don't want to leave anybody out.
Yeah, that would be fun. Maybe we do it on the every other week.
Yeah, we'll do that. Do a Zoom together.
We could do a Zoom.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be good since
You
we're
just do a Zoom the opposite Mondays.
That would be perfect. I like that idea.
cool.
So going forward in this program, I'd like you to think about how would you like to create your own transformation, and what are you willing to do to get there? So you write down those things here. I talked about this in the call that we had, so I'm not going to go through it a whole bunch, but you do understand, right, about the difference between the mammals and why we are frugivores, right? Are there any questions about that?
I didn't get that. Say it again.
Oh, you
Kent
saw
wasn't
the,
on that
that's
call.
right. Yes. I
Remember,
did.
Did you see that chart?
Yeah.
Kent?
yeah, you saw that.
Yeah, that was really good, Wendy.
Yeah,
Right.
because it's different. The frugivorous, that's different than just being a fruitarian, right?
It's
Yeah.
the same thing. It's just a different word.
Oh, different. Okay.
Although that mouth certainly doesn't look very human.
Yeah, so we share 99.4 of our DNA with the chimpanzee.
Really?
We do. So we're really close, and you can tell in the mouth how it is. They do have body hair all over, but if you look through all of this, we are so similar to them. It's incredible. I mean, everything
We're
is
94% chimpanzee.
99.4%.
I like climbing trees and eating banana. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, our little kids do that, right?
That's 99.4.
Yeah. So we're the only mammals that have opposable thumbs and fingers, and we can actually climb trees, pick the fruit off of the tree, peel it, and eat it. The other mammals cannot do that. Isn't that incredible? So that right there shows us that we were made for fruit, because fruit grows on the trees,
Oh, cool.
right? So there's so many different indications
Wow.
that we are made from for fruit. This is the raw food pyramid that Dr. Douglas and Graham from the 80-10 diet has. If you can get that book, it's an excellent resource. It answers a lot of questions that you might have, especially about diabetes or cancer, how these things work, and how it all just kind of comes together. And he uses some science and some research and other things to help you understand. So basically, we want 80% of the fruits and berries, all the fruit, and get as wide a variety as you possibly can. Don't be afraid to eat the tropical fruits too. We were actually, Adam and Eve were in the tropical regions when they were created. And so they had all sorts of different kinds of fruits and nuts and seeds and things available to them, as well as the vegetables. So eat a wide variety, and I like to think of the colors of the rainbow. So if you can get all the colors in the rainbow in your meal, that would be ideal, because they each have different nutrients for you. A variety of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and all kinds of things, okay? And we will go through and talk about, the food combining and things like that. So, and how to eat for your region and all of those things. But for now, just pay attention to this here. So vegetables and leafy greens are next. About 10% are all you can eat. And then nuts and seeds, these are the whole foods. I don't want you eating oils and things like that, even coconut oil. It's difficult for the liver to have a lot of the oils. And we're going to be talking about the liver and what it does and how to take care of it, because it's one of the major organs that detoxifies our bodies, and it can really take a beating. And that's where a lot of these issues that we have are coming from. So when you eat the avocado or the nuts and seeds, make sure the nuts and seeds you are sprouting them. They don't actually grow a sprout, but what I want you to do is just take a handful of them for your day, And think of all the fat that you do in a day is what you can do in a handful, okay? So I usually put my finger like this with my thumb, my middle finger, and this is the area that you would measure. So you can take this, your hand, and it's different for each person, which is why I like it for the 10%. But you just scoop in your nuts and seeds and see how much will fit in there, and then put it into a measuring cup, and you'll know, okay, my handful is a half a cup, or it's 3/4 cup, or it's 1 cup, and then you'll know exactly how much you'll need each day. Does that make sense? Okay, and then we're concentrating on whole fats. The reason we want to do this is because it also has a whole bunch of fiber and nutrients that we need together so that we can get the most benefit nutritionally out of it. When we extract the fat from the avocado or the olive to get olive oil or avocado oil, then you don't benefit from all the rest of it, okay? And it's just 100% fat. So we want to go for all of the whole foods instead of the oils and things extracted from them. So as you go throughout your day, you can put maybe half of whatever that is. If it's a half cup for you, do a 1/4 cup of nuts and seeds that have been soaked from anywhere from 2 to 8 hours. Those are for the hard nuts. And you will get a chart for all of this, the soaking chart. That's softer nuts like the cashews and macadamia nuts, you do maybe 10 to 20 minutes is all, because they're a softer nut.
So you're saying you soak them in water? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and what you're doing is getting the phytic acid off. The phytic acid is the storage packet for the nut, and it actually makes it bitter, and it's harder for us to digest with that on. So when you soak it and you take it off, the water will turn brown, and you rinse that off, and then you eat the nut, and it's actually sweet and soft with a little bit of a crunch. But then you don't have the phytic acid, and you can actually digest that much better.
Oh, so it's phytic acid.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right. So this says people living in higher altitudes with seasons must make some adjustments. Because we don't live in the tropics here in Utah, California, you probably have more access to fruits and vegetables year round than we do, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's great. This is excellent for you to be able to do. But for higher altitudes like Utah and other places, we do need to make some adjustments, and we'll go through that in the program as well. Okay, like we talked about, there is some resistance that comes when we're trying to create something amazing and do something new. So just keep in mind, be aware of what's happening, be aware of your thoughts that might be self-destructive, be aware of other people who might be talking to you and trying to get you to not do this. There are a lot of people out there who have your best interest at heart, but sometimes in a negative way. And I want you to do this for you, and don't worry about everybody else right now. This is your program. This is you that gets to go through this transformation. And when you start to transform your body, your mind, and your spirit, people around you will ask you, what are you doing? They'll see it in your countenance. They'll understand that, they'll see that maybe you're reducing your weight or gaining a little bit if you need that. And they'll just see that your countenance and your constitution is so much better, and they'll want to know what you're doing. So don't worry about anybody else. Just take care of yourself first, and we'll go from there. This talks a bit about going backward to go forward. Learn from the past and from our mistakes in going backward. But in order to move forward and create something better than we've created up to this point, we need to look at the past and learn from it. And then don't condemn yourself constantly, okay? So it's important for us to move from today forward. We learned from things in the past. what we may have done. Even yesterday, you know, if we made a mistake yesterday, let's forgive ourselves. I actually like to celebrate it. I tell my clients, if you fail, you eat cookies or something just because you want to, then celebrate and just say, yes, I failed, and clap and just get excited for yourself, because we learn from everything, don't we? We learn from our mistakes, and that's the most important thing to do. I don't want any shame. I don't want any feeling bad, depression, any of these negative feelings. That's not part of this program, okay? So celebrate the failures along with the wonderful things that you do, and learn from everything, and then just keep moving forward, okay? Any comments, questions?
No, I like that.
Good. Okay, plant, cultivate, and harvest.
Wait, go ahead. Wait, Kat has a question.
Kent, go ahead.
Have you heard of Heron's law of curing and retracing?
I'm not sure what, I can't understand what you said.
Heron's law of curing and retracing.
Curing and retracing?
Yeah.
Herring's law.
Oh,
It says that when you start to do something naturally to improve your health, the body naturally go to a detox and revisit a lot of the symptoms you've had in the past. It works for a while, and if you do anything to treat the symptoms that you're experiencing, it'll take longer to heal. If you keep going with the program you're on, then eventually it'll go through the detoxification and you'll be healthier.
Right, and we will go, there's a module on detoxing that we will talk about too. And sometimes you get to a plateau, and so we've got to work on things like that, which is where it's important to do these coaching classes and to come and bring your questions and things each week, every other week, so that we can make sure that you're getting exactly what you need. So as you go through this, yes, you might have some detoxing symptoms. So, you know, go through and do what you need to do. And if you have issues, just talk to me about it. You can text me or email or something, just say, hey, I'm having this issue, and we'll work through that, okay? Okay, so we talked a bit about the harvest. I'm not going to go through that, although this is talking about the Epstein-Barr virus. Excuse me. There are 4 different stages, and I'm not going to go through all this because it's all in your videos. So go through and listen to the videos and write everything down. And then I'd like you to come back the next time that we have our call, and come with all of your questions, okay?
So Wendy, could you back up one page? Do you want us to go through and write in the stages what we are experiencing from each one of the stages up above?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Was that our homework? Was that our homework?
Yeah, and it tells you right here on page 7, it gives you that information.
Okay. And is it okay if we print this little booklet out and
Oh yeah.
and there's pages each time? So this is 14 pages, and then we can just print it out.
Your full book will probably be about 80 to 90 pages. It's a lot of information. Okay. So get a nice 3-ring binder, and this is just for you. Please don't share it, but you can print all these pages off.
Okay.
Okay, and then this goes through a 28-day detox. So I'd like you to go through and do this for the next 28 days. This is taken from a book called The Medical Medium by Anthony William. And what he suggests is getting rid of all these different foods and supplements and things. So
iron supplements. Why would he tell you to get rid of iron supplements? And I mean, to use instead?
Because most iron is made from rocks. So you want to have your plant-based iron. As long as it's plant-based, that's fine.
Do you think that Purium has plant-based iron that
Absolutely. Yeah, so you can stick with what you've got there.
I love it.
He's got whey protein here, and that's something that I definitely suggest to not do. It's not good for you. And the whey protein is not in the Purium either. Okay, so this has the 28-day cleanse. You start in the morning before you eat anything else with a glass of celery juice. You can have other drinks as well that have like cucumber juice, lemon water, coconut water, Hawaiian spirulina. You can do the Purium powder, whatever. Yeah, any of that. So drink up to 16 ounces of your celery juice a day, and this helps to balance out the pH of the gut and improve your immune system, which resides in the gut. Also, if you have these symptoms that we go through before that with your Epstein-Barr virus, then this will help to be able to create more of an alkaline environment because they thrive in an acidic environment. So we need to change that pH for you, and the celery juice will really help out with that. So that's the first thing to do in the morning. Is you're up to 16 ounces. You might have to work up to it. You know, it might be 2 ounces is all you can handle because it's kind of bitter. But the bitter herbs are where you get the most medicine from. They're very medicinal.
Sure.
So that's good. And make sure it's organic. You don't want to have the pesticides and things like that going in.
Did you say 2 ounces of what?
Celery juice to work up to.
Celery juice. You might need to start with 2 and work up to 16 because 16 ounces is a lot. But just do what you can handle. And then if you need to, you can put in like a cucumber just to make it a little bit sweeter, but he suggests doing this on its own. For breakfast then, you could have a smoothie with 3 ripe bananas, 2 dates, and a cup of berries. Wild blueberries are best because they're very healing, and you can get wild Maine blueberries. Those are the best. And then you can put other greens in there like spinach, cilantro, parsley, more celery, barley grass juice powder, or spirulina. So kind of mix and match what you would like to and get your greens in there.
Can you put protein drink, protein stuff in, or not worry about that? Or
yeah, and that's great as long as it doesn't have any whey. Make sure it's a plant-based in there. And Chris, I would suggest that you do some wheatgrass juice.
Wheatgrass?
Wheatgrass juice, and I can actually get you some powder if you'd like to do that.
Okay.
But that will be really helpful, especially with the condition you're dealing with. Okay. Okay, mid-morning, and everybody could do wheatgrass juice. So if you want to do that, let me know. It is in the Purium supplementation that we'll go over, but you can also, I can get it from another company that also has really good stuff, and it's got just the wheatgrass juice powder if you'd like.
Okay.
Okay, mid-morning, make another fruit smoothie, or you can just eat a bunch of bananas or apples or, you know, some sort of a fruit. So you're going to be eating about 5 to 6 times a day, okay? Juicing is the best if you have a chronic condition or if you've got an immune system or gut health that you're struggling with. It's great to do the juices because they drive right into the cell and help to bypass the digestion and they get busy repairing and healing everything. So if you can do the juicing, it'd be good to invest in a good juicer. I do like the Green Star juicer. It's about $300 to $400 though. It's a pretty expensive juice. The thing I like about it is I'm going to show you here on Amazon what it looks like.
What about that versus the Champion? Have you seen that? The Champion?
The Champion is a good one too.
Okay.
The one I recommend is a Green Star. I like it because it has these gears like this that have metal on them. And the gears will rub against each other so that you can actually do wheatgrass juice yourself if you want to. So if your juicer has something like this where you pull it apart and rinse it out and stuff, you have to clean it after every time. But it's got brushes and stuff that it comes with. But if it has something like this where it's got the twin gears, you want stainless steel. And these are bioceramic magnetic twin gears. So this helps to get the most possible juice. It's a cold press, So there is no heat that goes and ruins the enzymes or nutrients. And it also helps so that it doesn't have a whole lot of oxygen that's oxidating those fruits and vegetables. So that's the one that I recommend. But if you have another one, let me check the Champion. Which one do you have?
Well, I was thinking of getting the bottom one. Chris Ward talked about that one, and that's what he's used.
Okay. So this has a stainless steel shaft, but it doesn't have those gears like you'd want. I did a ton of research on juicers before I bought this, and I asked around, read lots of books on it. This has been 10 years of research. And that's what I found is if you're going to spend that much money on a juicer, then get the Green Star.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, right now I have a Jack LaLanne power juicer.
Yeah, and that's fine.
It's working, it's making the juice. I don't think it would do all the sweetgrass stuff yet, but.
Yeah, and like I said, if you have just a small juicer, or even if you've got a Vitamix or something like that, that doesn't take out the pulp, that's fine too. Just use whatever you have. The juices are nice because they do take the pulp out and make it so that you don't have to digest all of that, especially with a chronic condition.
Right.
But if your digestion and gut can handle it, then it's good to keep that in.
Yeah, I actually made celery juice and carrot juice on Saturday.
Excellent. That's great. And then you can use the pulp to be able to feed your animal. I mix it in with my dog's food sometimes.
Oh, really?
If they like it. You can also make for your family, banana bread or zucchini bread or carrot cake or something like that, with a little healthier ingredients.
Oh, that's a good thought.
Yeah. Okay, so the lunch then is a big salad, just as big as you can eat, with lots of either fruits and some nuts. If you can put the nuts on there if you want, that have been soaked. So the nuts and the fruits go together. They're fine that way. Or you can do a salad with vegetables, but don't mix the fruits and nuts and vegetables. That's too much starch, and the combination isn't very good. Okay.
But we're only supposed to do that much fat. So if it's avocados or nuts,
it's this finger here.
You would only have that much for the whole day, not for each meal.
Right, and it's whatever can fit in your entire hand right here. Not just that whole.
Oh, good, your entire hand.
The whole hand.
Okay, good.
I tried that the other day, but the avocado really made a mess. No, I'm just teasing.
I love it. All right, so mid-afternoon, then just a snack of any fruit of your choice, or you can munch on celery or carrot sticks. You could have a spoonful of raw honey if you want. It helps to pick you up a little bit, or some dates. Then dinner is more greens and like a creamy spinach soup. And then there's a recipe for that. And any kind of fresh fruits and vegetables, keeping the fat low, about a handful a day.
Oh, there was the.
Okay. So any questions on that? This is your 28-day cleanse that you're going to go right into the raw food. Okay. So you're probably going to start noticing some pretty good detox symptoms coming up. So make sure that for the first couple of days while your body's getting used to it, stay close to a bathroom. Drink lots and lots of water in between as well, so that you can make sure you're hydrated. The fruits also have lots of water in them, so they help to hydrate you as well. This does go over some detox symptoms that could happen. If you start to feel like maybe you're coming on with a cold or something, cold and flu, that all they are is your body's way of detoxing. It does it naturally. So we work with it instead of against it by medicating it. And here's a recipe for garlic, which is nature's antibiotic. Let me grab this real quick so you can see it. I have this stuff called unpetroleum jelly.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah, it's great. I get it over at Good Earth. You can find it at health food stores, but it doesn't have the petroleum in it. So you need a jelly like that to mix with your garlic, minced garlic. You create a paste and then you put it on the bottoms of your feet when you're feeling sick. I do this with my kids and myself. My husband hasn't desired to do it yet, but it gets the garlic right into the feet. The feet have the most pores in them in
Right.
the body, so it goes in really quickly. You do need the jelly to be able to act as a barrier between you and the garlic, because the garlic oil can give you a 3rd-degree burn, okay? So do not use like coconut oil or olive oil or something like that. It will burn your foot, okay?
Wow.
You need
Yeah,
that.
that was kind of weird that it would burn your feet. That
You
was
know,
kind of
yeah,
shocked when I read that.
yeah, it's very powerful. And then I put on one of those larger Band-Aids and a sock and just sleep with that at night. Rinse it off in the morning. Do this until your symptoms are gone. And then that's your antibiotic. You don't need antibiotics because nature has provided garlic, which is the antibiotic for nature.
Wow.
Questions for that?
Good. Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so there's your first herbal remedy that you're going to learn. Okay, so there are first 2 laws of heaven, which are obedience and sacrifice. And I promise you that as you do these things, they follow, again, the laws of God, the laws of heaven, as well as the physical laws here on earth. And as we obey these natural laws, they're connected to divine blessings. And our bodies know how to obey these laws and follow them so that we will receive health and strength and a greater quality of life. As we make some sacrifices, giving up some of the food that we like, maybe believing that we can't live without it, our bodies will respond with greater health and well-being. We'll begin to notice that we're feeling better, our symptoms begin to fade and eventually go away completely. And we lose the cravings for sugar, processed foods, meats, all kinds of things. So that's a big blessing too. Visualization, this is a practice for you to do as well. So I want you to think about the creation, what you're wanting to create. Write down those things that you want to create in the different areas of your life. Maybe some things that you need to work on, one thing in each area or one thing in one area to start. And then do a visualization, close your eyes and think of your ideal self and who that looks like and how it feels to be in that body. And really get clear in that visualization in a meditation where you can understand what it is that you want for yourself. Then I'd like you to write down the characteristics that you saw in your visualization. Describe the colors, the textures, features, how you look, how you feel, and any other ways that you can describe yourself there. And then you've got the assignments are here as well. And this is to help you go deeper, tracking your food every day so that you know exactly what you're eating. And we can talk about that. Usually if you can track it, then I can pinpoint what it is that you've been eating that may cause other symptoms or issues. Okay, so it's important to do that tracking because as I coach you along, I'll be able to say, okay, that's where you're having issues. Yeah, so these are a bunch of questions to just answer and then do this each day. And then keep a journal of your experience throughout the next 24, well, it'll be 12 weeks actually. And then answer those questions, okay? Any questions on that one?
That's great, Wendy.
Yeah.
So that's module 1.
That's module 1. It's a big one. The other ones aren't quite that big, but I really wanted to give you some meat here.
That's good. You
Even
gave
though,
us some nuts.
yeah, the nuts. That's
Exactly. Your
You gave
fruits
us the
and
nuts and bolts.
right.
So go through module 1, the bonus video, and module 2 for next week. This module 2 is, it's just a bunch of more questions and things. So this is your snapshot activity where I want you to take your measurements, take a before picture, record your pounds here. What are the symptoms that you're currently experiencing? What are some things that you've experienced in the past? Surgery, sickness, chronic illness, all those things. Then how are you feeling on the inside on an average day? Are you naturally depressed, happy, sad, frustrated? Why do you feel this way? I mean, we're getting into some really deep stuff because I want you to be very clear about where you are now and where you want to go, okay? How is your self-worth doing and why? What is your attitude about life? Why? Describe your spirituality. Is there anything else that you'd like to remember about this time in your life? And then how did you relate to the Epstein-Barr virus stages that we discussed? And do you think you might have it? And these are some things.
Really interesting. Can I just snag a moment here? You know how when you did our hair analysis, when I think Linda and I don't know about Kent, when I know Chris can't do it because of where she's at.
Right.
So
and that's okay.
Her analysis too, right away. But Linda and I both tested for major virus. Could that be Epstein-Barr?
It often is linked to that. And so you'll go through here and take a look at all the symptoms and you can see from that, you know, pretty much where you're at.
Hey, Chris, in October, if we do this, wouldn't it be fun to just get all the other joy coaches doing this? And in October, when we see each other, like we won't recognize each other. We'll have tons of energy.
Yes. Well, and you can get one of those hair analysis too if you want to do that.
Yeah, we could have you come to the joy coaching event.
That'd be great. Yeah. So this is your other one. It's a lot shorter. It's just a lot of questions to answer, and I would like you to do those two things then for this next week. Okay.
Okay. And I would just like to ask you if so when we go to this, we go to rawchefwendy.com, we go to members, we go to group B, we go to the password that you gave us, we push that in, and then we can print this out and start our notebooks.
Right. And everything is in the email that I sent to you this morning. I think you got a couple of emails. Actually, let's see, in my sent one.
I did see it.
You did.
And then what I might have you do too, I may have you start sending it to our Heart to Heart Wellness one, so then Kent can access it too, because sometimes he doesn't do it on my.
Okay, will you send that to me? Then just text it to me.
I will.
So I did send welcome. It should say welcome to the program.
Yeah.
So that has all of the instructions right there. So you'll want to star that. Make sure you could print it out so that you have it.
Wendy, what if we're kind of struggling with the dinner option?
Yeah, what if we need to maybe have rice or something, or
well, that's not raw food.
Oh, that I know it isn't.
But
raw
what if
food,
we're struggling with the spinach puree?
You can do a salad or fruit or something like that. That's fine.
Okay. Well, Wendy, and then I want to talk to you because I know I'm definitely going to need coaching through that part of it.
I think we all do. Yeah.
I can do and I think it'll be really good. Like Chris, Linda, and Kent, and we can return a report to each other.
Yeah, we'll all do it. Yeah.
And we can text each other and say, "Hey, I ate my 3-banana shake with my dates, whatever."
Yeah.
Well, I guess I have a question because my girlfriend has diabetes and she was saying bananas are not good for her as a diabetic and she can't eat bananas. And yet you have 3 bananas in a smoothie.
And the dates.
And that is totally false. This is the book that will teach you all of the things.
I got that book. Yeah.
Really? I should maybe tell her about that because her kidneys are at 16% right now.
Oh my gosh, she needs to get on this program. Okay, so what happens is we're taught that fruit is not good for us, that we need to have small amounts because what they're doing is they're comparing processed sugar to fruit sugar, and there's no comparison. Okay? Fruit sugar is what our bodies are made to be fueled on.
Right.
We need the carbs from it for energy, and you're going to notice that your energy is going to skyrocket. You're going to need to start exercising because you have so much energy. Isn't that exciting?
That's great.
Yeah, I used to hate exercise, and I had chronic fatigue for 28 years. And I never thought I would like exercising. Well, just before this thing, I exercised and I started running today after my surgery. It was the first day that I got to run. I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Yeah, so anyway, when you keep the fat low to that 10%, then it allows the sugars to go through the bloodstream and do the job, get right to the cells and start healing and repairing. Your fruit, and we'll talk more about the fruit, but the fruit is your protector. It's anti-cancer, it's anti-tumor, it's antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial. This is the most amazing food for you. You need to have it. We all need to have it. That's what our bodies were built on. That's why we're called fruitarians. So when we take those things out, which is the adversary's plan, I believe, he does not want us to thrive in this world. He wants to kill us off. And so, of course, he's going to convince doctors and other professionals that we should stay away from the fruit because he knows that that is going to protect and heal us. The fat is the problem. It's not the fruit. Okay. So if you go higher than 10%, then it gums up the bloodstream and it slows down the sugars in the bloodstream, causing sugar spikes. And it feeds candida and cancer and other things like that. So it's the fat, not the sugar, that's the problem from the fruit. Does that make sense?
Wow. Okay.
Is that amazing?
Yeah.
But is that explained in that 80-10-10 book if I ordered that for her?
Yep. It's really good.
So have you heard anything like that the kidneys can kind of help regenerate themselves, or once they're at that, forget it?
No, the body is designed to heal and repair itself if it has the right tools. I can help her with the herbs and with the food and everything else. So, she can join this program, or she can, we can talk and do some coaching privately, whatever. If you want to talk to me about it, I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
But the thing that I've noticed with the clients, I mean, there's a lot of people, you can tell them to go and read this book or whatever, but it's hard, just like you're talking about, Karen, with the emotions that are attached to food.
Right.
Getting rid of the cooked foods can be an emotional challenge. Sometimes you get these thoughts of, oh, I'm deprived and, this is really hard and I don't want to do this anymore. And you talk yourself out of it. So if you have a coach available to be able to help you through those things, if you have accountability partners to talk you through it, then that's where you have the greatest success.
Yeah.
Okay. Great questions, you guys. Anything else?
This is great. Yeah. I think
I'm ordering
The book?
yeah,
maybe
two of the
10,
books,
10.
yeah.
They have it for $3.99.
Wonderful.
5 books.
Yeah, and it's
For
in
good copy.
good condition. Yeah, so that's good.
Where do you order that from?
From
It was
Amazon.
good books. Yeah, from Amazon.
Oh,
Yeah.
on Amazon? Okay.
Yeah, you can get good. So yeah, so she's ordered 2, and we'll get.
So I will be telling you about a variety of books that I've read, and you may want to get them. This is the #1 book that I would suggest for sure.
Okay, Susan.
Yep. So
Is your sheet for monitoring your food pretty much the same as the journal that the 80-10-10 has? Because they offer for sale a journal for recording stuff.
you can just go ahead and track it on the trackers. If you want to, you can get that journal, but I don't think you need
Probably
it.
what's in the book already.
Yeah, there isn't really a journal in the book, but this has just a ton of information. It also has like a winter, summer, autumn, spring menu plans and stuff too.
Okay.
So that'll be helpful as well. Okay.
Okay.
Well, wonderful. Thank you all so much for joining us. I will see you in 2 weeks then. Please make sure you go through those first 2 modules. And if you can go through the next 2, that would be very helpful so that we can work ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be in Atlanta next Monday.
Okay.
So I got to figure in my mind what time I need to hop on. Would you?
Oh, it won't be next week. It'll be the
But I
following.
mean in 2 weeks on the 22nd.
Oh, I see. Okay. Do we need to change the time?
No, I think it's probably earlier in the morning, right? So it'd be like 9 o'clock there on the East Coast or maybe it's 10. Maybe
Yeah.
it's 10 o'clock.
Maybe 10. Yeah, because actually they're 2 hours. not 3 hours.
From California, it's 3 for
That's
me.
true. Yeah.
Right? And so if I get on at 10, I should still hop on with you guys.
It'd be 11 o'clock their time.
Or 11 o'clock their time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're doing this at 1 Mountain Time. So would that work for you?
Yeah, I think it will. I'll make it work.
Sounds good. So we'll meet again on the 22nd. Please have 1 through 4, if you can, of those modules done. So you've got this week and next week to work on it. And that will get us ahead. So that'll be good.
Okay, great.
Thanks a lot, Wendy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.